Hi guys, welcome to our today's podcast. Has it ever occurred to you or even made you wonder that has our life gotten to where it is by mere chance, or is it meticulously calculated by some enforcing force that destined us to be us?
Well, that along with the crucial plot recaps of Hamlet and important moments of the play will be the topic of today's discussion. So, welcome to VDH Studios. We are here. I'm your host for today's podcast, along with Hanny and Danny. We just hope to analyze and discuss about the play.
Let's first jump into the recap of the story. How did Hamlet get to where he is at the end of the play?
Okay, and then let's just take a short break before we get into that.
Okay, let's start with some quick recap on Act 1 and 2. In Act 1, it establishes the plot points of the play and the tones and the themes. In Act 1, Hamlet's uncle Claudius murdered Hamlet's father to become the new king of Denmark. Then his father's ghost appears to him to describe the murder and charge that Claudius has done to him. Hamlet's mother decides to marry Claudius after her husband's death, and Hamlet does not feel happy about this. And Hamlet's father tells Hamlet that God should punish Claudius, and Hamlet will start pretend to be crazy while he seeks his revenge. And in Act 2, people around Hamlet start to notice that he's acting weird, and Claudius sends two spies to spy after him. Then a bunch of actors came on to put a play, and Hamlet decides to insert something into the play. He knows that watching art such as theater invokes emotion. Hopefully, Claudius will confess, and to make sure that the ghost isn't lying to him. Okay, then.
Okay, let's do a recap of Act 3. In scene 1, we see that Polonius and Clodius watches Hamlet as he speaks of his famous soliloquy, debating about the fear of death, to live or not to live. And after that, we see that Hamlet storms off at Ophelia, lashing out on her. And after that, Claudius decides that Hamlet may be dangerous to him and his status, so he plans to send Hamlet off to England. And now in scene 2, we see that actors that Hamlet invited from earlier of the play comes and recreates a play that's similar to Claudius' murder of his brother, which causes Claudius to flee the room feeling guilty. And embodied with this confirmation of Claudius' guilt, Hamlet goes to speak with Gertrude. And in scene 3, we see that Polonius plans to eardrop on Hamlet and Gertrude after discussing it with Claudius. And Hamlet sees Claudius in the church and praying, and he considers of killing him, but however he doesn't because he was worried that if he killed Claudius while he was praying, and which would remove all his sins and allow him to go to heaven. And in scene 4, we see that Hamlet confronts Gertrude, and when he sees a movement behind the curtains, he realized that someone was behind it, and he thought it was Claudius, so he charges in with a knife and stabs a person. But little does he know it was Polonius, and he killed Polonius, thinking that he was Claudius. And the ghost appears again to remind Hamlet that he still hasn't achieved his mission of killing Claudius. And that's all the recap for Act 3.
All right, thank you for those recaps. So we're gonna be moving on to recaps of scene Act 4 and 5. They're the really quick acts with a lot of stuff happening. So let's quickly go over the essentialist aspects of Act 4 and the important moments to summarize. So basically, nothing really important happens until scene 3, where Claudius gives his soliloquy stating that the letter he's sending with Hamlet to England is ordering them to kill Hamlet. Overall, in Act 4, there's a strong theme of insanity. So insanity driving Ophelia to death, insanity driving Laertes to a lack of thought and more action to serve Claudius. And Claudius himself is also becoming insane due to Hamlet driving him mad. The insanity is unpredictable, and we see how this outcome of this will affect the destiny and the characters of Act 5. So, moving on to Act 5, Hamlet escapes the ship after finding out that he was going to be killed. He returns to Denmark after reading a letter, then creates his own letter telling England to kill the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. So at this point in the story, Hamlet is taking action. He allowed himself to change the course of his demise, so he's not going to die in England. His destiny is to kill Claudius, and somehow that made its way back, and he's coming back for Claudius The fact that Hamlet survived means that Hamlet's decision of going with the flow mentality, the fact that Hamlet survived to come back leads to the decision of Hamlet's going with the flow mentality from this point on. So Claudius's fate has already been determined in Act One, since the ghost had given Hamlet a purpose. So now we're just watching as the walls are closing in on Claudius's time. There's so much stuff going on that there's no turning back. The simple denial of the poison drink, Gertrude dying, and Laertes spilling the beans. That just signaled the end of Claudius and that Hamlet was going to be the one to kill him. And that's exactly what plays out. I believe that in Act 4 and 5, where Hamlet's action solidifies his destiny to kill Claudius, and it also led to his demise as well. Every action, or rather inaction, led Hamlet closer to the tragedy that we got. So let's take a short water break before we move on to the real discussion. All right, so let's move on to the real discussion, the essentialist question that we're all here for. Do we have control over our own destiny? Well, let me leave that to Danny. What do you think?
That's a very good question. Well, I really think that before we discuss, do we have fear of free will? We should try to like break down to like what propels us to like make the decisions that we make. Like when we break down like our decision making process, right? It's literally just our brain. It's a physical thing made out of like matters and chemicals, and it's like it's conditioned throughout its growth of childhood to like learn different laws and like rules that we have to follow, and our brain just composed of like motivated by like certain rules and chemicals, and which with various factors combined together, it like it integrates everything and like compels us to like make action. This may sound very simple, but it's a very complex process that has like many multivariable. But I
Okay.
think that like hypothetically, if we could create like a computer or algorithm that was like complex enough and fast enough where like it's possible to take in every like aspect of human like thought process mentally and physically, and like I believe that it's possible to predict human actions. Mhm. But that would take a lot of knowledge and it would be really complex. So, but I think it would be possible. But we just don't know that if any of any of the beings in this like reality is capable of doing that. Maybe not.
Okay. So you're trying to say that uh, we have control over our own destiny. It's just built up a bunch of factors and randomness that we're just not able to really predict or think about. Um, okay, what do you think, Annie?
Well, I don't know. Like Danny said, well, if you can develop a computer fast enough, but like if you want to like predict human actions, you're basically creating a time machine, right? Like looking into the future. But is that
Okay.
really like possible?
Yeah. So I think that's sort of what I think too. Like everything we do, everything that is destiny that's gonna happen is based on experiences and uh, like interactions between people. Um, every small thing can build up towards to
Yeah,
something.
I think we have like full control over our choices and actions. It's just that sometimes luck can play a big role in whatever we do.
I think it's like I think we're always trying to distinguish about life is just fate or just free will, but I
Yeah,
think it's like a very intertwining of both, because in certain ways, because I believe like we're able to change our fate throughout like series of event and like actions, because I say that because I say we have free will is because when somebody's you can always make changes around yourself to change your own environment.
Yeah.
For example, like if you just lay around all day, you're not gonna achieve anything, of course. But then you could change this fate if you suddenly decided to have like a really routine schedule, uh, like use every one of your hour effectively. I think somebody could change their fate from doing nothing to being very successful.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So let me throw this at you. Um, do you think there's destiny in relationships, like soulmates? Are you gonna meet the one and then fall in love, and that's it? Is that something you think was gonna happen in your life?
Mhm. Well, you, well, we're still in the very beginning about life. You see, we don't have much experience with this. But I think as of now, we don't really know yet because we obviously um like haven't like experienced through enough to know if like what even is a soulmate.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
think like
find what it is.
yeah, I feel like you can't just find one like right off. Like you need to like to be with someone for a long time to see if they're actually like true love. You know, it's not like they just go on. Oh, that person looks pretty good. You know, you can't just doesn't work like that. So
Yeah,
It's not all about the looks. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
but some people do believe in soulmates. I think it's something. I think something destiny and fate are something that people look towards. They really want something something to live by, something to guide them. And that's what brings us back to religion, right?
yeah,
Um, not everyone is religious, but in Hamlet, we can see that at least in the later act, in act around Act Five, he puts more faith into God. So, like he mentions providence, he believes that God or nature is providing a protective uh, or spiritual care to Hamlet. So whatever's gonna happen happens, but he's gonna make get out alive. Blah blah blah. He trusts in God. Uh, just this isn't personal. You don't have to answer it. But are you guys religious in any way?
no,
uh, Not really. But I think you mentioned a lot of interesting points about
yeah,
Hamlet, like saying it's like God like telling him to that like destined him to do whatever. But I think a lot of time, right? Because we see in like the whole story of Hamlet, he like his mentality has become like very toxic, and he like debates on like suiciding and like killing, mass murdering and spree. And a lot of time, I think that maybe what if Hamlet were just using fate and like the will of God as an excuse to like make him feel better, because like he doesn't want to kill, like he knows that killing people is very bad, and he has like high moral standards too. So maybe he was just using like fate as like an excuse to like
kill Claudius.
rationalize his actions and make it seem like it's less like relevant to himself for all the sins he committed with like killing Polonius and like Claudius.
I think he got more insane after he killed Polonius, and he's just used like destiny as an excuse
Yeah, he's
to
using like religion
make
and
him feel better.
yeah.
Yeah. But besides his killing, I think having something to believe in uh,
Yeah,
can help you be happier. Like some people, like not it's not for everyone, but like some people need something to believe in,
yeah,
something to live by, like the Bible, uh, that sets certain rules, stuff like that to live by, and just to know that you're going to heaven, or if you believe in heaven, uh, that's something to look forward to after you die. So it gives you
like a hope.
meaning,
Yeah,
yeah, hope too.
Well, do you believe in any religion?
Oh, no, no. My family's religious, but like I don't really. Yeah.
I feel like destiny was created for people who doesn't believe in religion. Like, so people have something to look up for. Like, what if my destiny will be like will be a bright future ahead of time? You know, like people just believe this and then give them hope for their life.
Yeah, that is true.
Like it's just like religion, right? But it's just different. Like people believe in God and people believe in destiny.
Yeah. Well, for me though, I look at like life more as like like a action and consequence type of thing. It's like there's no way we can know our destiny. But however, we have no control over destiny or like future, but like we have control of our every moment. And like I believe that like if we're able to like mm, make every correct move in like at the very moment, and then if we could do that enough, it adds up and creates like it generally creates a more like better outlook for your own future when you're
Yeah, it's
willing to like put in the work at the moment.
so you think life is like a kind of like a video game? Like if you just put all the correct like options, you'll get the best future.
Well, well,
Uh,
it's like a probability thing. You see,
Uh,
it's like you could do stuff that like increase your better outlook, but
yeah,
then at the same time, I'm not saying that if you do all the right stuff, you're definitely going to be successful, turn out a certain way. Because a lot of time there are like factors that one cannot control by himself.
yeah,
It's like if someone else decides to like do something bad, like you just see like there's a lot of bad people out there. Like if someone randomly decides to drive their car while drunk and hits you, like you can't control that.
yeah,
But like there are certain things that you could do to like reduce that likeliness, like by not going out at night, or like yeah, or like just watch out your surrounding, things like that, which can help you with your probability.
okay. So let me throw a scenario at you. What if you're born in poverty? Um,
Mhm.
yeah. So like, if you're born in poverty, it's really hard. The whole world is working against you, right? Because you're poor. It's hard to uh, get a good job. Um, get education, like to pay for that education. Uh, it's like there are rare stories of like people making it, yeah, but usually, uh, whatever the class you're born in is usually the class you stay in because there's also inheritance as well. Uh, there's a lot of division. So if you're born in like one of those things, do you believe destiny has control over you? Do you think you can change it? Like some people have, but like, what do you guys think?
Okay, I think that this goes back to what I was saying, like it's a probability thing. So like, if you were just born naturally in like poverty, like the probability of you having a good fate will, or like a successful life as a fate will definitely be like reduced by a whole lot because you were born in poverty, you were born with a disadvantage against like the higher class of society. But then I believe that like there are still a lot of like action someone could take for themselves that increases their own like probability of being successful. Like you see like a lot of like the big tech like CEOs, like Google CEO right now, he was born in like India and he was born like in poverty where he couldn't even afford like backpack or he could like barely afford like a plane ticket and a backpack to come to like America, but then he turned out really great, like through his own like motivation and dedication. So I believe with these real cases we could see that like you could definitely do stuff to get out of poverty, but it's just that it's really hard to do.
So yeah, I get what you're saying. You're saying that um, destiny has some sort of effect on people's lives, but to varying degrees based on um, how they come into this world, how certain what where they
yeah.
are, where they come from, stuff like that.
Like
Yeah.
like what I think is that like destiny have control like over the big picture, like your overall background, like people around you. But like at the end of the day, it's your own choice, right? Even though like we see a lot of people came out from like that was successful or like from poverties and stuff, but like those people are all hardworking. Like none of them are like lazy or like they they like how do I say this? Like if they didn't like they need some of that luck to be that successful, but like a lot of time it's all from your own decision. Like if well let's say the Google CEO, if he didn't like study hard, how else is he gonna be like successful, you know?
Yeah,
So we
Like
definitely have a
there's
link.
like yeah, there's like millions of people in poverty, but like only him, like well like some of them were successful. Like something has to be different about like these people, right? Like they probably like tried very hard in school, like or like will do whatever they really like to do to a degree where they can use it to make money, you know, and live a decent
Yeah,
life.
yeah, that's pretty inspirational. Um, okay, so let's try to connect it back to Hamlet. Um, Do you guys think Hamlet was destined to die? Do you think there's destiny guiding him to death?
Well,
Um, I think like the very final tragedy, um, it was like it was caused by a component. It was like the sum of all its parts. Like everybody played a role in it, and then like um they all they all like contributed to it. So like each of the characters, they have made really bad decisions. A lot of the characters have made really bad decisions throughout the play that like progressively worsened like the entire situation to the part where like causing everybody a lot of people's death. Because
Especially, yeah.
no, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah. Especially since um, when he was given the choice to battle Laertes, he had the choice to not fight him.
Yeah.
But in doing so to fight Laertes, he was trusting in God, providence. Do you think God in some way was like saying he's gonna die, and he just let it happen?
Okay. I think that like okay, if we look at like the ghost of old Hamlet, right, we see that it's like a well, it's not holy, but like it's a spirit that like it's able to do like supernatural stuff. So I think the old Hamlet spirit in this like book, I think it can like to some degree represent like God in some way, because it's like a guidance and like it's guiding Hamlet to do all this stuff. But then which like I think the old Hamlet spirit in some way could be um like fate, an element of fate in throughout the book. But however, with Hamlet though, like he still had the like conscious decision to be able to like choose to listen to old Hamlet or not. And like I think throughout the play, like maybe Hamlet, like maybe Claudius maybe wasn't even had to die if Claudius didn't make all the bad choices of his own. Because if we look out through the play, like we see that like throughout the entire story, we just see Hamlet debating if he should kill Claudius or not, even after like he confirms that Claudius did do something to the old Hamlet, but he still's like he doesn't want to do it. He like brings up a bunch of excuses for himself, like how he doesn't want Claudius to go to heaven if he killed him. But I think that's just like more of an excuse to like not kill Claudius. But then I believe in the very end it's Claudius that like pushed himself to the death too, because he was the one like that poisoned the drinks and killed Gertrude, which like which like made Hamlet like become enraged with him. So Hamlet will definitely kill Claudius then, since he killed his mother. What do you guys
Yeah,
think?
that's a buildup of a lot of factors that
yeah.
uh, accumulated to Act Five. So we see what happens.
Yeah, I feel like the finals. I feel like his death is inevitable because, well, he is a suicidal person, and like people he loved, that like Ophelia died, his father died, and his mother will probably die, like after she drank the poison, and then like there's nothing he like there's nothing to live for basically, like so I feel like he would just die anyway, like even if he didn't die from the poison, so he'll probably just kill himself afterward.
Good point.
Did you
Okay,
guys
so okay. Go on.
got okay? I was just thinking like, did you guys think like Polonius deserved to die? Because like after that, like I felt pretty bad for Polonius.
Well,
And,
we don't like Polonius, right?
Mhm.
According to Mr. Chill, we're not supposed to like Polonius. Why do you
Not too much.
Why do you feel bad about him? I mean, I don't think he was a good father and stuff, but like, I don't know.
yeah, I just think like he made very bad decisions to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and like I feel like this is so coincidental. Like he went to the wrong place at the wrong time,
Yeah.
while like he accidentally made a noise and Hamlet found out, and Hamlet like and coincidentally Hamlet just decided to think he was like Claudius right off the bat. So I was just thinking, wondering if you guys think that was like coincidence or was that like he was just meant to die there?
Coincidence? I I don't know if it.
Because there's so much coincidence. It's like
Why we asked if you believed in fate, something just happened. It just happened. But like it takes so many factors for it to happen, but it actually just happened.
Yeah,
Like
it's like very complicated.
and you have like no control over it. Like he just happens to be there, and then Hamlet thinks that he's Claudius, and then he's just mad at the time and just killed him.
Okay, so let's go over Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Um, do you guys think they were supposed to die too? Like, was that their fate? Like, because they served Claudius, was Hamlet justified? Like, they got what they're coming. They got what's coming to the for them. What's the saying? Well, yeah, whatever. They got what's coming to them. Yeah.
yeah, we get what you're saying. Like I think again, I think like maybe that's just like Hamlet using like Hamlet said they got what was coming to them as just an excuse, like to make himself maybe feel a little bit better for like purposely sending his like childhood friend off to their own death. I think he definitely had like felt really bad doing that, and he felt and definitely like morally, I think he even like disliked himself morally for doing that, and I think he just like used that excuse to like make himself feel better, which means like I don't really think it's fate. I think it was just like a conscious action that Hamlet made.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think Hamlet did it. He's just using the excuse like they're gonna die anyway or something like that to finish them off. Uh, yeah,
Felt like betrayed by them, like those people are working for Claudius.
Yeah, exactly. I think Hamlet maybe felt like betrayed and like felt enraged by the fact that his childhood friend betrayed him. So he just sent them to the death. But he also felt very bad at the same time. So he needed an excuse to make himself feel better.
Yeah.
But it was in the end his own actions.
right. Okay, so let's take a short break. We still want to discuss what is destiny because we're just been going over the fact that destiny probably doesn't exist because of all these actions that people take. But let's just come back and then we can discuss what is destiny. Okay, welcome back. This is gonna be the final stretch. We're just gonna wrap up our thoughts, talk about what we discussed, and there's also a quick survey we wanted to give you guys at the end. But stay tuned. Stay tuned. So, Danny, what are your takeaway?
Okay. Okay, so as a takeaway, we should first discuss our final opinions on like what fate is and what free will is, right? After seeing like so many evidence and like examples of fate and free will acting in the play and through our personal life. So I think to me like fate and free will is like I think like free will just like relates to like our performing like actions in the present, whereas like fate is just like the some effects of our past actions that like ultimately influence like our present life. And I think like the exercise of free will in the past becomes our fate in the present, which for me I think like free will and fate is is inseparable, and I think they might just be like a different thing but a part of the same thing.
Oh, okay.
What do you guys think fate and free will is?
What do you think, Henny?
I believe like in fate to a certain extent. I feel like it only changes the big picture, like how like let's say you have a brother, right? And then like you guys have the same background, same mother, probably if you guys are around the same age, go to the same school probably, and then, but at the end of the day, both of you will live a different life, like
Oh,
it's different from each other, and I feel like that's the power of free will. Like different people think differently, and they'll choose different paths, and that's my opinion on fate and free will.
okay. So you're basically talking about like twins, you know? Twins
Yeah.
are not 100% exactly the same. They pretty similar, but like, you know, they have their own lives, their own stuff. Uh, Even though they're almost exactly the same, they don't have the exact same.
Yeah, they have different hobbies and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then even though they look the same, but their like interests could be like different, like very
Yeah.
different, you know.
Yeah, and then that's what shapes you. Yeah.
Yeah, like just for example, like me and my brother, right? Like he decides to, like drop off school after high school, and then I decide to continue with like universities, and like we chose different paths, but we like grew up together, and I feel like that's why like fate only changed the big picture, the grand scheme of stuff.
Well,
What do
I'm
you
not
think?
sure. I'm not sure what to think about like whether it exists or not. Like, even if it does, I wouldn't let fate decide what I'm going to do. It just I can't accept that there's some opposing force that's wanting to set my life a certain way. Uh, like how we are told at a young age, nothing in life is ever handed to you. You have to work for it. I want to connect that to destiny and fate. What happens in our lives and outcomes are all based on what we do and like some other stuff, the other outside factors that determines what happens. Yeah, so fate is something people believe in. Some people accept it. However, I believe that's not completely set in stone, like what we discussed. Sure, there may be some things like fate, like you definitely die and you definitely age. Those are some things you can't change. Uh, but yeah, but why let that change who you are now? Let You have a lot of control with your life and how your actions will influence others, how actions will influence your life. Um, and that's why I just want to live my life without having to think about that, you know? So I have a good book recommendation for you guys if you want to read it. It's called I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. Uh, Unlike what no, it's not about eating a pancreas. It's nothing about cannibalism, but like it's a well-told story of a girl with a pancreatic disease. She makes the most of her life, even though she knows that she is gonna die. She enjoys the remaining lives with this person, and somehow they change. They probably get feelings. I think it's not really uh, thoroughly explored, but like you know, they really connected and uh, they altered the fate. You can go ahead and read that and see how that interaction or that relationship changed them.
I think that's a interesting book. And
Yeah.
we're at our suggesting book, I think I would also suggest also another book. I think the book Outlier is a really good book to read. Because it's like a book that analyzes like the success of people and like why people become successful. And as when you read out through the book, you will realize that the success of people isn't really like coincidental. A lot of the stuff of people's success is like led up through like very small like actions that they do that normal people doesn't do. And with like their extra work and like their very like creative and intelligent way of looking at problem and solving problems, and also like the help they were able to get from other people, um and like the social skills and stuff and various factors, and that's what really led up to the success. It wasn't just a luck thing that they were chosen out of like just normal ordinary people and they were lucky enough to get to where they were, which ties in a lot to like free will and like making like working yourself hard to achieve what you want and changing your own fate.
All right. Anything else you want to add, Henny?
Nope.
Right. So, well, that about wraps up our podcast. Just quickly, guys, we have a Google form on our website. We want to hear from you guys. So please cast your vote on our website. It's just a quick question about, do you believe in destiny? And then if you do, why? Why do you believe in destiny? What makes you believe that there is destiny? So just go ahead and drop vote in there, and then get to you guys next time. So peace out.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah. Bye, guys.